When will you wake the fuck up? Why do you think that an inverted act my bad. Why do you think an inverted actor died just because you've seen it through a two-dimensional screen? Do people not understand that everything that you have seen in life is a belief system that you are conditioned to believing in? Do you not realize that people always fall for the bait? And on top of that, none of y'all really care about this character for real. You only care because it's viral to care or give a fuck, because your energy is being harvested and you don't realize that. But people think as if they're realizing what this deception is, and you still can't even see through deception, but you're calling yourself awakened or woke. Whole entire time you fell for the operation, you fell for the experiment, you fell for theatrics. Didn't you study Shakespeare? How do you go to school and not study what Shakespeare told you? All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his act being 7 ages. What the fuck is going on? And death can't even die, so how can you mourn over a character that never existed and she never got shot? Here's what I mean.
The real reason is that he is actually using this special device that is also commonly used in movies to fake the bullet hit. This black and tiny device is made of a bag filled with fake red liquid along with a tiny and harmless explosive. Then it's carefully glued to the actor's body, while the device is controlled with a remote from afar to burst at the perfect moment of filming. Because of this trick, the gunshot scenes appear a lot more real than if they were made with computer.
And what makes it even worse, people became political figures overnight, and they act as if what they're talking about is supposed to be justified because you have propaganda or you have different informations or studies upon the left wing and the right wing, not knowing that they are both the same exact wing on the embodiment of shadow societies that they are working beneath and working under, because they're showing you what your mind is under, and you put yourself there because you are flooded by what you're conditioned into seeking out, even though you can't seek out your truth because the word the truth can't be defined. So truth has to be silent in what you are not able to comprehend. And here's what I mean.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
That's exactly why once you see a bunch of characters foreshadowing what they're going to go through, I mean, there's no point of even feeling sorrowful or even feeling less than with what you're supposed to be joyful in, because remember, death is not a real concept. The only thing that can die is basically the body or the flesh that people are trapped under. But when people are able to rise outside their body, rise into ascension, they'll realize that the spell that we cast upon ourselves is inevitable. And the thing is too, is because we put belief in a system that was never meant for us to even be living in. We're supposed to be observing our reactions, and yet people still fail to react in a conscious way or an awareness. Because how can you call yourself awareness and yet you still can't see the play that's happening right in front of your face that's mocking how unintelligent you've always been? Like, people will sit here and make it seem as if they know what's been going on in secret societies, but yet Gematria, which is basically all those numbers I showed you in 4 ciphers, Gematria would tell you that these people are going to have a scripted lifestyle that you are going to be unconscious into seeing. So you're basically under hypnotism or MK Ultra. And if you study mysticism, if you study occultism, esotericism, study Gnosticism, mythology, what else, Satanism, demonology, or go talk to a demonologist. I mean, there's many different categories of just theologies, theosophy, cryptozoology. If you tap into all these different ways of information like the Kabbalah or mysticism, you'll be able to understand that all these spiritual genetic codes that we have in our blueprint internally, it'll help you understand that all this stuff is a play upon your ego. Because if you believe in a Jesus Christ, or if you believe in a God, or the case may be, if you read your Bible shit, which is basically Bible worship, so these people are sacrificially trafficked into satanic realms and they're sacrificed to Moloch. And if you are a Freemason, you can relate to what I'm talking about, but you took an oath, so commenting under this video or even DMing me will go against your oath. So shut your bitch ass up and stay compliant into what your slave master has told you, because you want to take that oath and go against the grain and go against your people, because you want to have attention from people who never give a fuck about you, but they can use you for mind control. Now, when it comes to Jesus Christ going to the mystery school or the Egyptian schools of mysteries, when that story came into play or whatever the case may be, if you study that story, that's hidden from you for a reason, because it was about you. When Satan, because basically his mother Mary, whatever, or her mother, because Jesus Christ was also inverted as well into being a man from a woman's perspective, because woman, or the woman that we are able to genderize or put a gender to, is basically the unconscious synthetic womb of thought that the Almighty would be if it had a gender, but God has no gender. So you have to put divine masculine and divine feminine into consciousness by being aligned with your mindset and doing away with what society has deemed as normal or societal expectations that normal people are following every single day, because they're under their own mind control and they have no idea how they got into that lower realm of consciousness. Now, when it comes to what Jesus Christ went into, the being learned one of the classes the being learned how to transcend death. So Thoth the Atlantean basically taught itself. So Lucifer taught Lucifer, which is Jesus Christ, or Satan's consciousness, because Satan has a big ego, obviously, because why would the ego call itself Jesus Christ? And if you are energy, which can't be created nor destroyed, how can this being die? And then how can you die? And how can you fear what you've never been through before? Now, when this being went into the Egyptian schools of mysteries, it taught itself how to overcome and overthrow the illusion of what death can't even die in. So the being sat there and told itself, okay, I'm going to be mindful and go through this phase. When I go through this phase, I'm going to see through a numbering system, because if you see astrology, slow the fuck down. When you see the Egyptian schools of mysteries, and when you go beyond astrology, when you go past gematria, when you see that numbers are in our simulation, because you were born at a certain time, you have a birthday, you were born in a certain second, a certain hour, a certain time of the day where the sun was up or the moon was up. Either way it goes, you have never seen the sun or the moon, and if you do, you are seeing what you are blind to, because you've never seen the blinds that you haven't even opened up into seeing, because this is the biggest stage that we have lied into, to where everything that we see is what we deem as truthful. But who told you that this was that, or they are being that, and this is what this is? Nobody told you that besides your guardians or people that you've been around, as far as classmates, teachers, influencers, celebrities, politicians, the government, the state, deep state, secret societies, Luciferianism, Satanism. I mean, you got all these different groups that people are placed under to where they seek attention. So all these people are doing, all these girls playing in men costumes are telling you that there are different variations of clone mindsets, because transhumanism is already at a big uproar. Not only just that, artificial intelligence has plagued humanity, because people can't even tell the difference from a human being or artificial intelligence, not knowing that human beings or humanity is basically artificial intelligence, because artificially you have no intelligence, because anciently you've been intelligent without being known of what your intelligence was, because how can you be intelligent in a dumbfounded way of what wisdom can't be wise in? So how can you be wise in a realm that taught you to be slower than what you thought you were quick in? Whole entire time you beat the race of the simulation of the Masonic tricks, not knowing that tricks are not for kids. But wait a minute, you've been tricked since you were a kid, and yet you still have that same exact mindset, because you've been traumatized into believing that this was the way to go, the way to believe. Because who taught you to believe in death? Who taught you to believe in God? You did, because you allowed and you consented to it silently.
A hat. Those masks were the beginning of a whole new generation of work that we did at the CIA. Then we discovered we could make a twin. We could make another you. There could be two of you. We could actually make 5 or 6 of you, but usually one extra was all we needed.
Stop falling for theatrics. You've been here before. You're living in a number system that never belonged to you. You are literally living in your own matrix that you make up every single day in your imagination. You are consciousness having a thought in your physical form that isn't even physically formed. Contradict everything, question everything. Have a great day.